Cruise news time, and this could be exciting. Is a Carnival cruise brand testing the waters when it comes to testing whether or not testing needs to continue? Testing, is this thing on? That's exciting. Plus, Crystal Cruises has risen from the ashes. As I alluded to yesterday, just casually, the Phoenix has risen from the ashes. Crystal Cruises will be a brand again. Also, the world's largest LNG cruise ship is on the water. And, well, Disney, they're having challenges with the Disney Wish. And Ritz-Carlton, is that a cruise line or is that a hotel? Well, based on the delays they're having, it might just be a hotel. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. What a sweet sound that is. We've got some interesting cruise news today. A really kind of exciting show for you. I'm going to give you the most exciting story first, but I wanted just to take a moment and say welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here. Many of you asked me to fix the old countdown sign there. I did fix the countdown sign, so all the letters are in place, all the numbers are there. Cruise countdown sign is fixed. Okay, first, the big exciting story. News coming out from the UK yesterday that P&O, Carnival cruise brand P&O, is dropping pre-cruise testing. But it's not for all of their ships, it's not for all of their cruises, which makes you wonder what's going on. They're dropping pre-cruise testing for a limited time on the P&O Iona for cruises from June the 25th to July the 23rd, 2022. Now that's certainly a peculiar announcement if we think about it. Peculiar set of circumstances, very specific, and you got to ask the question, well, why would you drop pre-cruise testing for only this time period? I think it might be a test. Again, who knows? This is me speculating, but we talked about it in the show yesterday. Does the data really exist? Do cruise lines know what the case count on cruise ships would be if they didn't test before a cruise? Certainly after this 1 month no testing on P&O Iona, they will know that. They'll know the amount of cases that show up on board during those cruises, and they'll also, well, they'll know what previous pre-cruise testing cruises of the same itinerary had yielded when it comes to case count. Nobody's coming out and saying that this is a test, that this could be a precursor to dropping testing on other cruise ships, other cruise lines in the Carnival brand. But certainly, this is interesting. It comes on the heels of Viking River dropping their pre-cruise testing for everywhere except North America, except the United States. But what I like here is you have the world's largest cruising corporation with brands across the globe. They're able to pull a lever, a small lever, just one ship, certain itineraries, and really get a sense of what happens when testing goes away. Obviously, the world's different all over. Cases are different all over. But this will be interesting. This will be interesting to see if this is the use case, if this is a test balloon for the end of pre-cruise testing. I really like this activity that in the time period while we're waiting for the CDC to reevaluate pre-cruise testing, that you have the cruise lines also doing things under their own initiative to understand possibly what testing means when it comes to cruising. Now, rightfully, many of you guys pointed out in the comments yesterday that the CDC, they don't really have the authority to lay these policies and protocols onto the cruise ships right now, and that the cruise ships could just ignore them. But just a reminder here, the cruise lines are voluntarily working with the CDC. They have made the decision that they will take whatever guidance the CDC lays on them. They don't have to do that forever, certainly. It could get untenable where they don't want to do that anymore, but the authority of the CDC is not in question anymore. The CDC policy is what the is because the cruise lines have said this is the policy that we're going to follow. So until the cruise lines break up with the CDC, it really doesn't matter how the authority of the CDC was derived. They are still the policy makers. So again, if we want to bring it back into what's happening in cruising in real time that's affecting people that choose to go on cruise ships, that's it. Whatever the CDC says goes, unless there's some sort of breakup between the cruise lines and the CDC. And I know there's some people out there that'll be like, oh, why are you getting so excited about such a small change? It's just one cruise ship in a different part of the world. Well, look, if you're going to break a dam, the easiest way to do it is put a small crack in the dam and let pressure build up and bust that dam open. That's the way most change works. Small change becomes larger change, but it takes time and it takes momentum. And again, the doing of something is better than the doing of nothing. And so is this the crack in the dam that is pre-cruise testing? I don't know, but only time will tell. And I, for one, am dang excited because it's Wednesday and we're alive, y'all. How about that? Get some joy in your life. Get that joy, 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 joy down in your heart. Why is it? I know life is tough out there, guys, but look, it's up to you whether you look at the toughness of life and frown, or you look at the toughness of life and give it the old heave-ho and put a smile on your face. I know it sounds hippy-dippy, but you can do it. The choice is yours. The attitude that you project is projected by you. How about that? All right, cruise news story number 2, another positive. I said yesterday that we know for sure that the cruise ship, the Crystal Symphony, the Crystal Serenity were auctioned off, but we didn't know who they were auctioned off to. Well, today we know. But let me clear this up real quick from yesterday's show. I said during the show that the Crystal Endeavor had been sold. That's true. I said that the speculation was that it had been sold to Regent 7 Seas. That was not true. I pulled out the wrong cruise line while I was just coming off the cuff with that. The speculation, the rumor is that it's been sold to Silver Sea, which kind of sounds like Regent 7 Seas. Silver Sea. So correct that in your mind. Apologies for leading you astray. But yeah, that's Crystal Endeavor. But that still leaves the 2 cruise ships, Crystal Serenity and Crystal Symphony. And the word has come out that the A&K Travel Group, which is owned by some cruising dignitaries, they were the ones that purchased the Crystal Symphony and the Crystal Serenity, and they're going to be relaunching those cruise ships under the Crystal brand. That's right, Crystal has risen from the ashes. Somebody snatched up the ships, they've snatched up the brand, and they're bringing it back in 2023. The ships are going to spend the next few months going through a refurbishment, and then there's going to be a whole relaunch of Crystal Cruises. Again, that's exciting. I feel like the brand equity for Crystal is so high. There's so many people that are loyal. Who knows if the loyalty will roll over, all that kind of stuff. More information will come as time goes on. But yes, that's exciting. Crystal ships not going to the scrapyard, but they will be back as Crystal ships again. The Crystal ship is being filled with people that like an all-inclusive experience, as I assume. That's exciting. Now, what's not exciting is something that's going on with the Disney Wish. I'm going to tell you about that, but I still got a couple more cruise news stories. Cruise news story number 3, the world's largest LNG cruise ship has got onto the water. Why is that a big deal? LNG, liquefied natural gas, is the next play in making the environmental profile for cruising gooder. LNG, a less pollutive cruise fuel option. And we've got some major cruise ships that are LNG, like the Carnival Mardi Gras are LNG. Well, now the world's largest LNG cruise ship, the MSC Europa, has completed her sea trials. At some point, I need to make out a list of milestones in the shipbuilding process. You know, float out is one of them. Steel cutting is one of them. Sea trials is one of them. Sea trials is getting closer to where this becomes a cruise ship that will be serving passengers. But the MSC Europa, the world's largest LNG cruise ship, completing her sea trials. We're going to see more and more LNG come on as cruise ports, embarkation ports equip themselves so that they can do LNG refueling. And again, this is one of the ways that cruise lines improve their environmental profile. Of course, the move to electric is always in the wind, always some sort of play. You got to get cleaner fuels. That's what cruise lines are doing to improve their environmental profile. And then eventually, I can see some hybrid electric stuff. It's already happening in the space, but not so much in these really huge vessels yet. But there you go. Congratulations, MSC. So you may or may not know the very fancy schmancy brand Ritz-Carlton has been trying to get into the cruise business for a while, and they've made a mega yacht. They've made a big sailing vessel, high-end, top dollar, that kind of thing. Well, its launch has been scheduled and delayed and scheduled and delayed and scheduled delays. I think the number of perfection is 7, so this is good news, I guess, for Ritz-Carlton. They've delayed the launch of their Ritz-Carlton brand new cruise ship for the 7th time. The Ritz-Carlton of Verma is delayed, this time because of disputes at the shipyard between metal workers. There's some sort of challenge for labor at the shipyard for metal workers. They cannot get this ship finished. The new target date is the 31st of August. The ship has completed some of its sea trials, and so it's close, but just not quite finished yet. Yeah. Averma. That's an interesting name. I don't even know what that means. Somebody will have to look that up. All right. Now, we got to talk Disney. We got to talk about challenges with the brand new Disney cruise ship, the Disney Wish. But first, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. The exchange is simple. You subscribe to the channel and it tells the YouTube gods that we're doing okay. And in return, they give you a notification every day that the show comes out. And you can be a part of the first people to watch the show. And I try to answer comments for the first couple of hours of the show. Sometimes I even go longer than that. But if you really want to get me to answer your comment or something like that, have that notification bell on. Leave a comment right when the show comes out. And I'll do my best to get back to you. So if you're trying to get to me, being subscribed with the notification bell on, that's a good way to do it. Thank you in advance. All right, the Disney Wish made her way to Port Canaveral on the 20th, just a couple days ago, on the 20th of June. She was supposed to sail out with a test cruise on the 21st with friends, employees, I assume. Well, that test cruise was canceled. And it had to be a challenge because I think people were traveling to go on that test cruise, and that thing got canceled. What I hear from sources is that thing got canceled like at 1 o'clock in the morning, the day of the cruise. If anybody else was on that test cruise and you want to verify that in the comments or send me an email at tony@lalidoloca.com, please do that. But that stinks. But look, you got to know when you sign up for some sort of test cruise that everything may not be copacetic. And certainly that was the case. So the first test cruise canceled. That happens. Well, now word coming out today is that the second test cruise that was supposed to happen on June the 24th, 2 days from now, has also been canceled. Word around the port is they still have some stuff to do on the ship. She's not ready yet for passengers, even these test passengers. And so they will continue to work on the Disney Wish as they make their way to their debut with paying passengers. As I was finishing that story, I was just thinking it's got to be disappointing to have your cruise canceled the day of the cruise, that kind of thing. And I was also trying to contemplate what was something that's been canceled in my life that was super disappointing to me. I've had a couple cruises canceled, no big deal, kind of used to that. But the one thing that got canceled earlier this year was I was going to go to Las Vegas and see the rock band Kiss they were doing a residency at Planet Hollywood, and they were playing in a small theater, and it was going to be cool to see Kiss. Well, they canceled their residency. I already had tickets and everything. I had to cancel that. That was pretty disappointing. Again, you know, if the biggest thing in life you're disappointed about is a rock concert being canceled, well, you're doing okay, right? Too blessed to be stressed. I feel that. But still, it's, you know, it doesn't mean that you don't feel disappointed when things happen. That's the question for the comments today. What's something that got canceled in your life that was really disappointing, and how you doing with it now? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it. Look, you can show your support for the show by hitting the like button. And unfortunately, if you do not hit the like button, I'll have to punish you. And your punishment is this. You're going to find a show that you think the whole season is out there so that you could binge it. Just have a binge day. And then you find out there's only 2 episodes out there. And you got to wait every week to see this stupid show. It's not worth it. I just want to abandon it and then maybe come back to... That's your punishment. You can avoid all that just by hitting the like button. This is Tony for Lido Loca. Till the next time. See you on the Lido.